Her.
Apeksha. Okay.
Yes, sir.
1 minute. Okay, Apeksha join now. Let's start. So, I am going to teach you object-oriented programming using Java. Okay. So 3KX03, that is the code of this subject. Okay. And subject name is object-oriented programming. And in bracket I have written Java because we are learning in this subject the Java programming language. Okay. Now this is your first lecture. So I introduce myself first. So I am Professor V.S. Mahalle. So this is my education qualification and experience. I taught number of subjects. So the subject I have written left side. So this subject I have taught number of times, and middle that subject I have taught 1 or 2 times, and these are the subject. These are out of syllabus. Okay. So this is our divine source of inspiration, Sant Gajanan Maharaj. So now today is our first lecture, and objective of our today's lecture is to know about syllabus, textbooks, reference books, websites, and some YouTube videos we can download. And second object is introduction and importance of subject, that is object-oriented programming using Java. Okay. So here I have written this programming approach. So here introduction and importance of subject, that is object oriented programming. Okay. And in bracket Java. So the Java, that is a programming language. Okay. There are a number of programming languages. So in this subject we are learning programming language, and this object oriented programming, that is nothing but the programming approach. Okay. Object oriented programming, that is a programming approach, and Java, that is a programming language. And importance of subject. So because demand of IT industry to develop applications. IT industry want a programmer, expert programmers, so to develop these applications. Okay. So that's why we are learning this subject, object oriented programming subject. Okay. Now we start with our first objective. So syllabus. So this is unit 1, introduction to object oriented programming. Okay. Unit 1 cover 3 points. Okay. First of all, we will learn about the theory regarding this object oriented programming. Okay. So concept, and then principles of object oriented languages, and procedural and object oriented language difference. Okay. And application of OOFs. Then in second part, we will learn about introduction to Java, Java virtual machine, Java features, and Java program structure. And in third part, we will learn about Java programming constructs. Okay. So what are the different Java programming constructs? So that you already studied. So variables, primitive data types, identifier, literals, operators, expressions, then primitive type conversion and casting, and flow controls. Okay. So this is the content of this unit 1. Okay. So I think most of the things we already know. So this first part is very important because the question will be asked in interview on object oriented programming. Okay. So all parts are important, particularly first and second part. Generally, question will ask. Third part is also the fundamentals of Java that we will learn. So data types, type conversion, and different control flows. Okay, statements. So this is about unit 1 that we will learn. Now in unit 2, we will learn about classes and object. Okay. So how to declare class, how to create object. So again regarding methods, then constructors, the purpose of constructor, cleaning up unused object. Okay, that is garbage collection. That way, what is the purpose of garbage collection in Java? That we will learn. So variables and methods. So there are different types of variables and different types of methods. Okay, so instance variable, then static variables, local variables. So different types of variables and method. So that we will learn in this classes and object. Also, we will learn about this keyword. Okay, so what is the use of this keyword? That we will learn, and then arrays and command line argument. So these are the points in unit 2. Okay. So unit 3, in unit 3 we will learn about inheritance. Okay. So first point is inheritance and aggregation. 1 minute. Okay. So in third unit, we will learn about inheritance. So method overriding, then super keyword, final keyword, abstract keyword, abstract class. Okay. So you already know inheritance, that is the very important feature of object oriented programming. Okay. And we will learn the method overriding concept here also. And we will see the uses of this super keyword, final keyword, and abstract keyword. Okay. So again, in the same unit, in third unit, we will learn about interfaces. So what is the difference between abstract class and interface, particularly that we will learn in this unit. Also packages, so built-in packages and user-defined packages, that we will learn. Also enum type, enumeration types. Okay, that is a user-defined data types. So that we will learn in unit 3 also. Okay. So that is unit 4. So in unit 4, we will learn about exception handling. Okay. So unexpected event that terminate the program abnormally. Okay. To handle this exception or this unexpected event to terminate program normally. So that technique, that mechanism, different exception handling mechanism, that we will learn under this exception handling. Okay. Then input and output. So here we will learn the file input and output, writing into the file and reading from the file. So we will use some predefined classes. Okay. So to read from the file and to write into the file. That is about input and output. So that is fourth unit. Now fifth unit. So in this we will learn about applet. Okay. So in previous units we will learn Java application program. Okay. And Java application and Java applet, these are two different programs. Okay. So this applet program we are embedding in HTML code, and applet that is run through the browser. That detail we will learn. Okay. And there are different we will see the structure of this applet life cycle, then different methods for displaying outputs and all this, paint method, update method. So get document base method, and then get code method, and some audio clips, and some graphics class, color, fonts, font matrix. So these are the different classes, predefined classes. So that we will learn in applet. Okay. So unit 6, that is on event handling. Okay. So in event handling, we will learn the source events, about listeners. Okay. So here you can observe event delegation model, then Java AWT.event. Okay. That is the event package, AWT package about, then sources of event listener. There are different types of event listeners, then adapter classes and inner classes. So these are the points that will cover under this event handling, and then that is AWT, that is abstract windowing toolkit. So about that we will learn. So how we can create a graphical applications. We create buttons, label, checkbox, radio buttons. Okay. So all these different types of layouts, menu bar and scroll bars. How we create a menu bar, how we create a scroll bar. Okay. So we use this different components, and we develop some applications. Okay. So this is about all about your sixth unit. Okay. So first unit, that is very fundamentals. Okay. So second unit, that is also a fundamental, classes and object. Okay. Now third unit, inheritance, interface and packages. Most important, exception handling and file input output, applets and event handling. So these are the textbooks for this subject. Okay. So there are two textbooks. The first textbook is Sachin Malhotra and Saurav Chaudhary, Programming in Java. This is from Oxford University Press Publications. And second textbook, that is Herbert Shield, Java Complete Reference. Okay. So publisher is McGraw-Hill. And there are 5 reference books. So first book is HM Detail and PG Detail. So Java How to Program, that is from Pearson Education. Okay. And then E. Balguru Swami, Programming with Java, publisher is McGraw-Hill. Then Dr. R.K. Nageshwar Rao, Core Java, an Integrated Approach. Khalid Mughal, A Programmer's Guide to Java Certification. Then Sharnam Shah and Vaishali Shah, Core Java for Beginners. So these are different reference books. Okay. So this first 2 textbooks, okay, Sachin Malhotra and Saurav Chaudhary, and this Herbert Shield. So this Herbert Shield, that is a complete reference, that is a very big book and very good book. Okay. So everything cover in this Herbert Shield, but it is very difficult to read the complete book and understand the complete concept from this book. Okay, because very detailed concept that is explained in this Herbert Shield book. So this Sachin Malhotra and Saurav Chaudhary, this is the books according to your syllabus. You can refer this book, and there are number of website you can also refer, particularly Java T Point. Okay, this is the very important website. So very simple example, simple language. Okay, so you can also refer this website, Java T Point. Okay, so this is about your syllabus, textbooks and reference books. Okay, and you can also refer some YouTube, this Hyderabad academic, that is Durga Soft. Number of academics are in Hyderabad. Their YouTube videos are available. You can also refer this YouTube videos also. Okay. So now today we will discuss about this introduction and importance of this object-oriented programming subject. Okay. So one. हा मॅडम, हो चालू केलं मी. हा हा नाही, लेक्चर चालू केलं मी काय केलं, सर्वांना इन्व्हाइट केलं एका एकाला. लिंक नाही काढली मी. हा चालू आहे ना. हो 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 हो. बरं बरं बरं. Sorry to disturb. Okay. So introduction and importance of this subject, so that we will discuss. So already told that's Java, that is a programming language. Okay. So we will learn about language first, and then we will learn about the approach, object-oriented programming. That is one of the approach. We will discuss about this approach. So first we will learn about the languages. Okay. So what is the need of this programming language? Okay. So before that, we will learn what is language. So we want to communicate with each other, then we use Marathi, Hindi, English language. Okay, we can communicate through our local language, or we can use English or Hindi language to communicate with each other. Okay. Now we want to communicate with machine, or we want to communicate with computer. Then we can use a programming languages, that is C, C++, Java. Okay, so C, C++, Java, these are the programming languages. Okay, and from this we say communication is possible because of languages. Okay, and why we are communicating with computer? Why we want to communicate with computers? Because this computer perform complex operation in easy way. Okay, so we can solve a complex problem. So it is very difficult for a human being to solve the very complex problem easily. So that's why we are using this computer, so that will perform a complex operations in easy way. Okay, so this is about language and programming language. Okay, now we have seen, so this Java is a high level programming language. Okay, so we need to develop applications. We need to develop applications like bank information system, railway reservation system, employee information system. So to develop this application, we use some high level language. But this high level languages, that is not directly understood by computer system. Okay, so we require some software, so that will convert it into some machine language. Okay, so we will see the classification of programming languages. So programming language that can be classified as machine language, assembly language, and high level languages. Okay, so machine language, you already know, it is a low level language. It is a binary language that is in the form of zeros and one. And this machine level language, that is directly understood by the computer. Okay, so there is no need to translate this binary form into another form. Okay, that is directly understood by the computers. Okay, then second is assembly language, that is also called as symbolic language or mnemonic language. Okay, and for this assembly language, we use some symbols like load, move, add, store. Okay, but when we write program using this symbol in assembly language, so that is not understood by the computer directly. So we require a translator, and here we use the name of translator is assembler. We use assembler. So this assembler that will convert this assembly language program into machine language, and then computer can understand the machine language. Okay, similarly here, high level languages, it is just like English language. Okay, and there are number of high level languages: basic, Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, C, C++, Java, Python, C hash, Prolog, .NET. Okay, number of programming languages. So that language is just like the English language, and that is easily understood by the users. Okay, but computer does not understand this language directly. Okay, so programmer will write the program using this high level language, but computer does not understand. So we require a translator, and here we use compiler. So compiler will translate this high level language into machine level language. Okay, and this is the example here given. Okay. So this machine language, assembly language, and high level language, so all these languages have their own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so machine language, so advantages, it does not require any translator. Okay, I already told this machine language that is directly understood by the computers, so there is no need uh, to convert this machine language into any other language. That is directly understood by computer, so it does not require any translator. It is directly understood by computer. Also, this machine language, it makes fast and efficient use of computer. Okay, so there is no need to translate. So it makes fast and efficient use of computer. Now, this machine language have some disadvantages. So it is very difficult to write and understand the code. Okay, so it is in 0 than 1. So it is very difficult to write the program in using this 0 than 1. Also, it is very difficult to understand the program that is written in 0 than 1. Okay, so the machine level language program is very difficult to write or very difficult to understand. So program written at hardware level. Okay, so knowledge of hardware is necessary. When you write a program in machine language, then the programmer must have the knowledge of hardware. Okay, so these are the disadvantage of this machine language. Then assembly language. So assembly language, the advantage is writing programming assembly language is easier and faster than writing programming machine language. Okay, so it is easier and faster than writing programming machine language. Okay, so disadvantage of assembly language, difficult to write complex program fastly. Okay, we use some symbol, load, move, add, divide. Okay, so we use this symbol to write this program. So, but if the program is very complex, then it is very difficult to write the program using this assembly language. If program is too large, then it is difficult to spot the error. Okay, so it is, if program is very lengthy, then very difficult to identify the errors, okay, in the program. So this assembly level language, program in assembly level language, that is machine dependent. Okay, that depends upon hardware. Okay, so program written in one computer cannot be run on another computers. So that's called machine dependent. That's why it is called machine dependent. Okay, so you can run the program on the machine on which you have written the program. Okay, so high level languages, the advantages is easy to understand the program. Okay, so it is just like English language, so it is very easy to understand the program. Also, second advantage, writing programming high level languages faster than writing programming assembly language. It is programmer friendly. Okay, so it may be machine independent language. Okay, so high level language, it may be a machine dependent or machine independent both. Okay, so some languages are machine independent and some languages are machine dependent. So then disadvantage of this high level language, it takes additional translation time to translate it into machine code. Okay, so we use compiler to translate this high level language into machine language, and this is the additional task. Because of this additional task, it will take some time. Okay, so compared to low level programs, they are generally less memory efficient. Okay, so the machine level language that work directly on hardware level, so and this is a high level language, so we require to translate it into machine language, so they are generally less memory efficient. Because of this, it is less memory efficient. So this is about the programming languages. Okay, so programming languages, so need of programming languages. Okay, so we have seen classification, their advantages and disadvantages. Now again, this high level languages we have learned assembly machine language, assembly language and high level language. So high level languages that further classified into the procedure oriented programming language and object oriented programming languages. Okay, high level languages classified as procedure oriented programming language and object oriented programming languages. These are two different approaches or way for writing the program. Okay, so Java is a programming language, C is a programming language. Okay, C++ is a programming language, but this object oriented programming, this is nothing but an approach. This is nothing but an approach. This is the way of writing the program. Okay, so for example, here I have given how you earn money. So there are different ways. So we earn money by doing jobs, by doing business, by taking tuition classes, by making videos on YouTube. Okay, so different way we can earn the money. Okay, so these are different ways or approaches to earn money. Similarly, this procedure-oriented programming and object-oriented programming, these are two different program writing approaches. Okay, so we can write a program in two different ways. We can use procedure-oriented approach or we can use object-oriented programming approach. So these are the two different approaches for writing a program, or it is also called two different ways to build program, two different ways to write a program, two different program organization and development technique, or it is also called two different program writing styles. Okay, so you already studied some languages. I think you know C language. Okay, you already studied in diploma. I think you have already studied the Java also. Okay, so writing a program in C and writing program in Java, both are different. Okay, so when we write a program in C, then we use procedure-oriented programming approach, and when we write a program using Java, then that time we will use object-oriented programming approach. So these are the two different ways for writing a program. Okay. So what is this object-oriented programming? And we have seen already here the object-oriented programming. High-level programming languages classified as procedure-oriented programming languages and object-oriented programming language. And we have seen this procedure-oriented and object-oriented, that is nothing but the programming approaches for writing a program. Okay, are two different ways of writing programs. Okay, so that we have seen. Now here we will see what is procedure-oriented programming approach. Okay, so we have seen two approaches: procedure-oriented programming approach and object-oriented programming approach. So what is this procedure-oriented programming approach? When we use POP approach for writing a program, then we are writing list of sequence of statements or instructions for computer to follow to solve a particular problem. Or in procedure-oriented programming, what is program? Program is a list of sequence of statement for computer to execute. Okay, so and the computer will execute a statement one after another. Okay, so you already written program in C. So we are writing a sequence of statements and computer will execute statement one after another sequentially. Okay, so for example, to withdraw money from ATM or you want to issue a book from library, to solve this problem, we use sequence of steps. We use some sequence of statement. Okay, so we want to withdraw money from ATM, then we insert ATM card in ATM machine, then we enter the PIN number, enter amount to withdraw, okay, and then collect the money and card. Okay, so we require to follow some sequence of steps. Okay, so we will not follow the we will not collect money and then enter the PIN. Okay, we require to follow some steps in sequence. Okay, so that is in procedure-oriented programming. Okay, so we require to follow certain procedure, and that is from top to bottom. Okay, so procedure is nothing but flowchart and algorithm that you already studied. Okay, so another example. So this is the programming example. So example is write a program to read test marks of two subjects of student and find the average mark. Okay, so this is the program in C and this is the program in C++. You can see here. So we want to read the test mark of two subjects. Okay, that is the marks in subject 1 and marks in subject 2. So here we use this scanf statement in C. So marks in subject 1 and marks in subject 2. We have read two subject marks and then calculate the total marks and then average marks, and then we have here print the average marks. Okay, so we want to read the test mark and find the average marks. So we require to follow the sequence of steps from top to bottom. Okay, same program. Here we have used also procedure oriented approach. So here instead of scanf, we can use cin with this operator to read the marks. Okay, marks in subject 1 and marks in subject 2, then calculate total and then average and then print the average. Okay, so when we use procedure oriented approach, we require to follow some sequence of steps. Okay, from top to bottom. So that's why here POP is a top down programming approach. This procedure oriented approach is called top down programming approach. Okay, so we require to follow some sequence of steps. Computer will follow some sequence of steps to solve a particular problem. Okay, so this is the procedure oriented approach. Okay, so now what is object oriented programming approach? Okay, so this is the another way or another approach of writing a program. Okay, so OOPS is a different programming approach than procedure oriented programming approach. It is a different way of decomposition of problem and writing programming solution. Okay, so in procedure oriented programming, we are going sequentially step by step. We read the first statement, second statement. According to that, we write the statement in some programming languages. But in object oriented programming, it is a different way of decomposition of problem and writing programming solution. Okay, so what happened in object oriented programming? So we are identifying the data in a problem statement. We are identifying so variables, so that variables are used to store the values. We are identifying some variables, input variables and output variables, and that we will declare inside the class. Okay, and again we will collect the operations that we can perform on that variables or on that data, so that we keep in the class, that we will keep in the class. Okay, and then we will write class at the beginning, okay, at the top, and below that class we will start the program. Okay, we will start the writing the program. Okay, so here the program, our program starts from that we will see here. OOPS is a different programming approach. Okay, so OOPS approach which deals with the concept of classes and object to build programs or application software. Okay, so you already know, so object oriented programming, that is based on class and object concept. Okay, to build program we use this classes and object. So object is the major and most important entity in object oriented program. They interact with each other by sending messages. Okay, so you can observe here the diagrams. Okay, so here we are using classes and object. Okay, so in this figure you can observe these are the persons and this is the RAM accounts. Okay, these are the object. Okay, so RAM can withdraw money from their account. Okay, cashier can make the debit credit entry so in RAM's account. Okay, so manager can observe the account balance and all this. Okay, so these are the different objects. So these are interact with each other to communicate with by sending messages. Okay, to communicate with each other, they are sending the messages. Okay, so here we are going to program as a collection of objects and that work together concurrently to produce software. So that's why object is the major and most important entity in object oriented programming. Okay, so that we will see another programming example here. So here in object oriented program, so structure, this is the C++ program. Okay, we declare a class. Inside that class we are declaring variables and methods. Okay, and our program starts from main method. So inside this we are creating an object. So that is the variable of type class, that is called objects, and we use this object that is in our program to call methods to access variables and methods. Okay. So object is a runtime entity. Most of the things we do through this object. Okay. So here we can see table, chair, blackboard. So these are the object. Whatever we are looking, we look around, we are surrounded with number of objects. Okay. So table, chair, then blackboard, all these are the object. Okay. Here you can see the classes and object, table, chair, blackboard, these are the objects, and it is of type furniture. So furniture is a class. Okay. Now here apple, mango, banana, these are the objects, and these are of type fruits. That's why fruits is a class. Okay. Similarly, S1, S2, S3, S4, these are the students. Okay. These are the different students, and this S1, S2, they belong to students. Okay. We can consider these are the name of student, and this belongs to student class. Okay. And here we can create any number of variables of type students. Okay. These are the variables of type student, and these are the similar type of objects. Okay. They have common attributes. Okay. So these objects have common attributes. Every student have name, roll number, marks in subject 1, marks in subject 2, and we can perform operation on their attributes, such as we can read the data, we can display the data. Okay. So the common attribute that we will specify inside the class, and the method that we want to perform on that attribute, that will specify, that we declare inside the class, and we create an object in a main program, and through that object we can call the variables and methods. Okay. So our program execution start from main. Okay. So at the top of the program, we are declare the class. Okay. We are collecting the variables and methods. We declare variables and method inside the class, and use the member of that class whenever required in main program. That's why here OOPS is the bottom up approach of programming. So this OOP approach is called bottom up approach of programming. Okay. So this is about procedure oriented programming approach and object oriented programming approach. In procedure oriented programming approach, we are writing a program, a list of sequence of statement for computer to execute. Okay. So we require to follow some sequence. Okay. We are writing a program by some sequence of statements, so that computer required to follow. Okay. But in object oriented programming approach, so we are declaring a class, and then we are writing a program. Okay. So that's why it is called bottom up approach of programming. Okay. So this is the example. So Java example. Only difference here is here in C++, we are declare class. So inside that class, we are writing, we are declaring variables and methods, and then we are writing the main program. Okay. So you can observe here, the student is a class, and we are creating here the object of students class S1 and S2, and through this S1 and S2, we are calling the methods. So object, that is the runtime entity. Okay. So this is the program. Our main program start from main. Okay. So this is the program, object-oriented programming C++, and this is object-oriented programming Java. Okay. So what is the difference? Here we will write the main method outside the class, but in Java we are writing main method inside the class. Okay. So this is also, main is also a method. So M1 is also a method. So everything we write inside the class in Java. But in C++, the main method we are writing outside of the class. Okay. So okay, this is another example. So here C++ example here given, and this is Java program example. Okay. So in this way we can use classes and object. Okay. So here class hello. Hello is the class name. Okay, you already know. Class is the keyword. Hello is the class name, that is user defined. And here I have declared one instance variable, integer a is equal to 100. And then I have written here main method. This is the syntax of main method. And inside this main method, we are calling the variable through this object o dot a. Okay, so instance variable, and this is static area. So instance variable we are accessing through object with dot operators. So detail we will learn in the next subsequent topics. Okay, so okay, we have already discussed about procedure oriented programming approach and object oriented programming approach. Now these are the languages: Basic, Pascal, Fortran, and C. So these are the programming language that uses the procedure oriented programming approach. Okay, so when you want to write a program using Basic, Pascal, Fortran, and C, then we require to follow the procedure oriented programming approach. We require to write the statement in a sequence. Okay, sequence of statement, and computer will follow that sequence of statement to execute. Okay, now this C++, Java, Python, C hash. Okay, so these are the object oriented programming languages. So when you write a program in Java or in Python or C sharp, then we require to follow, or we require to use object oriented programming concept and features. Okay, so C++, that is procedure oriented as well as object oriented programming language. So we can write a C++ program by using this procedure oriented approach or by using object oriented programming approach. That's why C++ is procedure as well as object oriented programming language. Now Java, Python, these are C sharp, these are pure object oriented programming language. We require to use classes and object for writing the program. So that's why these languages are completely object oriented programming language, but C++ that is object oriented as well as procedure oriented programming language, because it is possible to write a C++ program by using POP approach, also by using OOPS approach. So these are the fathers of this language who invented this language. C language invented by Dennis Ritchie. Okay, he is an American computer scientist. So you can see the photographs of this Dennis Ritchie. So you already, I think you are diploma holder. I don't know when you learn C language. So generally in B, C language, that is in the first year. Okay. Now C++ invented by Bjarne Stroustrup. Okay, so he is a Danish computer scientist. Okay, and Java, that is invented by James Gosling. Okay, he is a Canadian computer scientist. Okay, and JavaScript and Ruby and then Python. So different scientists have invented that languages. Okay, JavaScript, Brendan, he is an American technologist, and Ruby, Yuki Hiro, he is a Japanese computer scientist. Okay, so these are the fathers of various languages. Now Java is most demanding programming languages by IT industries. Okay, so in our campus, mostly the company's requirement is Java. Okay, so from last year, most of the students doing online courses on Python, but in India, so demand of Java is more than Python. Okay, so that's why Java is very important. So Java is more popular. You can observe this survey. Okay, that is 2019, and you can see the graph. So Java is more popular than other languages. Okay, so Python, that is more popular in the other countries, that is European countries, but in India, Java still have more demand. Okay, so Java is very important. Also, Java is most dominating programming language in variety of domain. Okay, so we can develop web application. For that we can use JavaScript, Servlet, JSP. So that is in the advanced Java. So we can use Java to develop Android application. Okay, so we can develop enterprise application. For this we can use J2EE. Okay, and big data, number of technologies that depends upon Java. Java is the base of most of the technologies now, today's latest technologies. So Java, that is based on this Java. Okay, so that's why Java is more and most important programming language. Why object oriented programming approach was developed? Okay, so or need of object oriented programming. So three important point here you can observe here. So because of these 3 points, we need to learn the or this object oriented programming approach was developed. Okay, first reason is to overcome the limitations in the earlier approach. So what is the earlier approach? That is procedure oriented programming approach. Okay, this procedure oriented programming approaches have some limitations, and to overcome that limitations, this object oriented programming approach was developed. Second reason, this object oriented programming approach have base programming concept and powerful features. Okay, so you can observe this figure, object and classes. These are the two concept, very important concept of this object oriented programming languages. And this inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, these are very important features of object oriented programming language. So this concept and features that map very closely to the real world entity. Okay, so real world entity, just like object, we look around, we are surrounded with number of objects. We can say this a chair, table, then this fan. All these are the real world entities. Okay, and these are called objects. An object, that is the main and important entity in object oriented programming. Okay, so that we will learn. And third reason to develop this object oriented approach, that is the number of advantages. This object oriented, when we use this object oriented approach, so that have a number of advantages. So we will see one by one to overcome limitations. What are the limitations in procedure oriented programming approach? Okay, and then we will see the advantages of this object oriented programming approach, and then we will learn about the, that is in the principle of object oriented programming language. In that we will learn the concepts and features. Okay, so class, object, concept we will learn, and different features, encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, and inheritance, that we will learn. Okay, so what are the limitations that are in the previous approach? Okay, so object oriented approach was developed to overcome difficulty in procedure oriented programming approach. Okay, so when length of program increases, then its complexity also increases. So it is very difficult to maintain a very large program in earlier procedure oriented approach. Okay, if the program length is very large, then it is very difficult to maintain that program when we use procedure oriented programming approach. Okay, now what happened, we can divide this large program into number of functions. Okay, we can divide a large program into function, but it gives birth to another problem. So what are that problem? So functions have unrestricted access to global data. Okay, we divide our program into functions, but that functions have unrestricted access to global data. Okay, so you have written a program in C, so we are declaring variables at the beginning. Okay, and every functions have access to that variables. We can, every function, suppose there are more than one functions in a M1, M2, M3, these are the suppose different functions, and every functions can have access to that variable that is declared globally. Okay, so that is the problem in procedure oriented programming languages or procedure oriented approach. Function have unrestricted access to global data. Okay, so every function have can access that global data. So there, and also I told this object oriented programming, that is map these features and concept that closely map with the real world features. Okay, but here in procedure oriented programming, they provide poor mapping to real world entity. Okay, so this procedure oriented approach that will provide the poor mapping to the real world entity. Okay, so that is the problems in this procedure oriented programming approach. So other problems in procedure oriented programming approach, so more importance is given to procedure. We require to follow some sequence of steps. Okay, so it give more important to procedure. Okay, now procedural language are not extensible. Okay, so also data is not secure. Okay, so we declare generally the data globally, and everywhere we can access that value of that variable. So data is not secure, it moves openly from function to function. Okay, so security problem is also there. So data is not secure. So these are the difficulties or problems in procedure oriented programming. So to overcome this problem, so the object oriented approach was developed. Okay, so we will see here the different features of object oriented programming approach. So in object oriented programming, more importance is given to data rather than procedure. Okay, so we are declaring variables and method inside the class, and we are accessing that whenever it is required in the program. So here we are giving more importance to data rather than procedure. Okay, so in object oriented programming, programs are divided into objects. Okay, so in object oriented programming, data is hidden and cannot be accessed by external functions. Okay, we are declaring data inside the class, and uh, there are some restrictions to access this data outside the class. Okay, so the data is hidden. So new functions and data can easily be added whenever needed. In object oriented programming, when you write or when you develop application using this object oriented programming language, and if any changes happens in features, then there is no need to develop or to write a separate program or separate application for this change. Okay, so we can make changes in the existing program. So that's why we can easily add it whenever required. Okay, so and this object oriented programming approach that followed bottom up approach in programming. So these are some of the features of this object oriented programming approach. Now the benefits of object oriented programming approach. So what are the different benefits of object oriented programming approach? So faster development of software. When we use object oriented programming language to develop an application, then it is very faster to develop the software, to implement that software. Okay, so another benefit of object oriented programming approach, adapt to changing requirement. Okay, so this approach also adapt to changing requirement. So any requirement happens in between, then no need to write the separate code. So we can add the code in the existing programs. Okay, so reusability, that is one of the very important advantage of this object oriented programming approach. Okay, so we will learn inheritance. So that is the main advantage of inheritance is reusability, reuse existing code to extend functionality of software. Okay, now one more advantage or benefit of this object oriented programming approach is easier to maintain. Okay, so the application or program written in object oriented programming, so it is very easy to maintain that program. Also software quality that can be increased. Okay, so these are some of the benefits or advantages of this object oriented programming approach. Okay, and because of this, uh, uh, to overcome the limitations and these advantages and the concept and features, because of these three, so this object oriented approach was developed. Okay, so I think today that is sufficient. Next lectures we will learn principles of object-oriented programming languages. Okay, so in next lecture we will see what is class, what is object, what is encapsulation, what is abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. So these are difficulty or any doubt, then you can ask. I think today that is sufficient. Okay, and this is the introductory part. So anybody have any question or any doubt, then they can ask.
No, sir.
नो अच्छा, आपका ये जावा ऑलरेडी हो चुका है ना इसमें डिप्लोमा में?
Yes, sir. हाँ, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके ओके ओके, तो हम लोग थोड़ा फास्ट भी गए तो चलेगा?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, sir.
Okay.
चलेगा.
ओके 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 ओके, so nobody have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay 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 okay, we will meet tomorrow at 2:30.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay.